Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bill Levinson, managing partner with Levinson and Associates. With me today, we have Joseph Alakran, our marketing VP, and then we have our special guest speaker, who is a small business slash worksite pro in this space. Brian Bly is joining us. He's going to speak live in about 5 to 7 minutes. So real quick, I just want to talk about a few things, and then we will move forward. First of all, it's our job out there to go find the most competitive insurance products for you. So when you're out there marketing and selling, you can feel comfortable knowing that no one's going to come in the back door and outsell you or propose a product that's half the price or 20% less than yours, or maybe bring more value to the table. So it's our job to make sure that you're equipped with the best products, bar none, that particular consumer can find out there in the space, right? So we go out consistently. We now have 19 employees, 4 are working remote, and it's our job, if we find something or hear about a new product or platform or carrier, that we make sure we do our due diligence, and if everything lines up, we're going to be the first ones to bring that product or technology to our agents, okay? And that's what these weekly webinars are about. And, it's also important, we have to put ourselves in your shoes and say, if I'm out there and I'm in the middle of Wisconsin and working out of my third bedroom, and I need to make sure that, I'm marketing in the right space. If it's, maybe white collar professionals or blue collar disability or small business marketing, right? We have to make sure that you have the correct marketing material and quote engines and product information so you can go out and make a great living and obviously supplement your income with some of these supplemental type of products, okay? This is another reason why we have started a senior division, okay? The Levinson Senior Health Division is rolling out in Q1 of this year. We went out and handpicked someone, I won't mention the health insurance company name, but we handpicked this gentleman that runs a huge health insurance company today in Florida, okay, a company, not a IMO or agency. And he is starting in March, and we're going to roll out the Levinson Senior Health Division, all in-house under the same roof that we have here in South Florida. So the reason why, once again, we want to make sure all of our life insurance agents, if you're a health insurance agent, you have the best access to top products, commissions, and technology from every angle, okay? That is our goal, and I think we've done exactly that since 1972, and that brings me to the place we are today, okay, launching Transamerica's Worksite portfolio of products. And, it's interesting because, yes, most of our agents are independent life insurance agents, but we're all looking for ways to supplement our income, right? We already have these clients. We have a bunch of P&C agency and health agencies, and we're the life arm for. But why not market to these small businesses? And when I looked at some of these numbers last year, okay, $100 billion of premium was generated last year through small businesses, okay? And think about this. Talk about marketing opportunities, right? If you're an agent out there, which all of you are, 400,000 business startups every year since 1994, okay? That tells me, if I put my agent hat on, that I need to start marketing to these small businesses. That's a crazy number. Every single year, 400,000 new startups, and that's consistently since 1994. That's mind-boggling, okay? So what that would tell me, once again, is, hey, guys, I need to start using some of your marketing platforms so I can get my name out there. And that's exactly why we have systems like Agency Automator, which we're going to talk about when Brian is done. And we're also going to talk about another small business owner's tool that we put together that you can start going out there and utilizing to get your name out there and open these doors. Okay, it's a new world now, especially with all of the latest technology, which you're going to see as soon as Brian's presentation is over. Me and Joe are going to jump into some of the latest tech that we're bringing to the table just for this part of the market. Okay, so you're going to see some neat stuff here. And, if you say to yourself, well, Bill, I've been doing the same thing for 40 years and I don't need any of this technology. I don't need to get my name out there to all of these small business owners. I get plenty of referrals. Okay, well, that sounds great and that's wonderful, but guess what? Okay, think about this. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, most of your taxi drivers and limousine drivers out there throughout the U.S. said the same exact thing to themselves. They said, my job's not going anywhere. I've been driving yellow cab taxis in New York City for 20 years and nothing will ever happen. Well, guess what? A company called Uber has taken over. So things are changing, like it or not, and you, as an insurance agent, you have to change, and you have to utilize some of these tools, right? We don't want to be that old taxi driver that's now sitting at home with no job saying, oh my gosh, I wish I would have changed. I wish I would have done something different. I wish I would have learned about a new path in my industry, whatever the case is. So let's all think about this as we go throughout the presentation and say, how can I make some changes and utilize some of this technology to get my name out there and sell some of these awesome products, okay? Okay, I get a little carried away there. We're going to move forward in our presentation. I think it's also important to know when you're calling on and email marketing to some of these small businesses, you should also be thinking about key man, buy, sell, and life insurance to protect small business loans, another great avenue for this part of the market. And when you're done listening to Brian's presentation, he's going to show you some real neat stuff. And let me tell you, it's funny, real quick, the way I stumbled across Brian's products, which you're going to hear all about, is I have a friend of mine that is very he's very overweight. Okay, great guy, but we all know he and we talk about it. He has to lose a few pounds. Very overweight and had some health issues. Bottom line is he can't get life insurance unless it's guaranteed issue. Okay, and we all know guaranteed issue has a cap. So, long story short, as soon as I found out about this, okay, I thought it was awesome. I made a phone call and I told him, I said, listen, we have a great solution for you now. We'll get our agent to come in and visit with you, but what we can do, because he cannot get a regular traditional insurance policy, but he owns a bunch of burger chains down here in South Florida. He has a bunch of employees, and I told him, I said, listen, we'll call him Leon. I said, Leon, I said, what we can do, if we're going to insure at least 5 of your employees, we can get you a basically guaranteed issue policy, okay, for 10 times income, up to $500,000, basically guaranteed issue, signing your name. So it worked, okay, and he loved this concept. Long story short, got him insurance, put insurance on all of his employees. It was a win-win. We came up with this great solution because of what Brian brought to the table. So also think about this as we move forward. Okay, our Levinson podcast, first time ever, the Bill Levinson Experience, launched this year. So excited about this. My first guest speaker was recorded last week. He's a local billionaire, Forbes 500 guy, also Cleveland Clinic's Man of the Year in 2018, my mentor for the last 20 plus years. I'm so excited to have him being featured on the first episode. So it was just recorded. We're launching it this week. And then, we all talk about, digital marketing and how we have to e-blast and use social media and create videos. It's so important to get our name out there. Well, guess what? Okay, for episode number 3, I was able to lock down a guy by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay, if you never heard of Gary, pull him up right now online from your phone or your desktop or laptop. Gary V. He owns a company called Vayner Media. He is the man when it comes to digital marketing. He's like a young version of a Tony Robbins. Anyway, he's going to be our guest speaker on episode number 3. I'm flying up to New York City to their corporate office to interview him for 40 minutes. So he's going to talk all about the insurance space, insurance marketing, independent agent world, and all of the above. So it's going to be really, really cool. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled for that Bill Levinson experience. Now, you like what you're going to hear from Brian. I know you're going to get excited and you want to do some due diligence and check out the product brochures and maybe get started. Go to our website, KerryLevinson.com. If you click on products, see the top box there in green, and you scroll down, you'll see a window that will drop down. It'll say Worksite and Group Products. That's where all of the information is. We have a bunch of carriers that specialize in this space, but frankly, I'm going to tell you, Transamerica, A+ rated, has the top products that you're going to see out there. So that's why we invited Brian to speak today. All right, that's another screenshot of what you're going to see when you click on Transamerica Worksite. Again, everything at your fingertips, updated in real-time fashion. Okay, without further ado, we're going to launch the official presentation for today. We have our special guest speaker, Brian Bly from Transamerica. Brian, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks, Bill.
Okay. Yep.
Hi. Hey, thanks, everybody. I appreciate you. Sorry that you had to use that picture and see that picture of me on that. But my pleasure to be here and piggybacking on what Bill had said about the worksite space. Transamerica, as you probably are well aware, are well established in the life channel. A lot of individual life insurance. I'm actually an individual life insurance policyholder with Transamerica. However, another feature of our company, another division within the company, is Transamerica Employee Benefits. And it's my job to help individual life agents cross-sell and grow their book of business via the Transamerica Employee Benefit channel. And so I'm going to go real high level here with you, just to kind of an overview of what Transamerica stands for, who we are, where we are in the business, and so that you get a good idea of the company behind the product. We're one of the leading #1 voluntary benefits companies in the country. You all will guess who actually the #1 is. It's with the duck. So we go head-to-head with the duck every single day. You will, if you run into companies like Aflac or Colonial or Unum, you can be rest assured that with Transamerica, you're not going to lose a case on product. It's a battlefield out there, as you all know, on product. But with Transamerica, we're consistently #1 in all aspects of this industry. I've been personally in the business for 25 years. The people that are behind the company, all seasoned. We can help you navigate that market, position yourself and your company to win almost every case. So you're never going to lose on product or the company name. As you can see here, it's a $7 billion market in the voluntary benefits market. The voluntary benefits market is really recession-proof. Again, I've been doing this for 25 years. I have never felt a recession in this industry. So there was never a time where boy, business has been slow. It's been a growth, single-digit, double-digit growth industry every single year that I've been doing it, primarily because as the insurance costs of health insurance go up, the more and more financial responsibility for the care of you and your family is put on the backs of the employees, and therefore there's a real risk tolerance there with those employees that they need some help to ensure that risk. And so that is really what we do. Joe, if you want to go to the next one. All right, so again, financial strength, you don't have to worry about the company. Transamerica is, as you can see from our financial strength here, there will be no issues related to bidding. This usually comes into play more when we're doing mega cases, 2,000 to 3,000 life cases, when that's a big issue, but you can rest assured, very strong financially rated company with Transamerica. Just a couple of the clients that we work with. We added a few more here recently. We're the voluntary benefits provider for Tesla, and I actually called to make sure their checks are still cashing because they're under a little bit of pressure from BMW this day and age. But we do a lot of Fortune 100, Fortune 50 companies that have chosen Transamerica. I just submitted a case in Florida today. It was Bill's Barbecue, so in Tampa. So we do everything from Bill's Barbecue to Tesla Automotive. Joe, you want to? There you go. So again, billing. The big difference in worksite space that we do is everything that we are going to do is payroll deducted. It can be payroll deducted on a pre-tax basis, and it can and list billed and billed in arrears. And so those are things that you'll learn on the billing cycle. But the way the group is set up is the employer deducts the products out of the paycheck, and they can deduct them on a pre-tax basis. So if you're selling a term product or a UL product or one of our health products within a group and it's deducted on a pre-tax basis, it's the same thing as getting a 30% discount off the rate. So it's been a very competitive advantage to be able to be in a payroll deduct business. All right, and then buying everything else too, I would be negligent not to talk about claims. All of our claims are online, so the employees, once they file a claim, have access to their online source of claims. So you're not going to, as an agent, not going to be involved in a lot of the claims. The goal with Worksite is, you want to put the group in, you want to service the group, sit down with the employees every year, and financially sit down with them and go over their needs. And then the claims, you want a company behind you that's going to take your back on the claim side of it. So if there are claims, you can just refer them to the online system that we have. I'll use this time to talk about a little bit about what Bill said about positioning voluntary, and the guaranteed issue is a real big component of that. So as you're sitting down with, let's say, an F&I manager at a car dealership, and a typical F&I manager makes about $200,000 a year, $150,000 to $200,000 a year, and let's say they're uninsurable. In fact, we had one last month that had Lou Gehrig's disease, still working, just early onset Lou Gehrig's disease. Totally uninsurable person, right? So the broker went in, met with the owner, sat down with the owner, said, one of your employees has an issue where they're uninsurable, but if you set up a life program through company payroll deduct, we can get that person some life insurance on a guaranteed issue basis. And that applies from Lou Gehrig's disease to cancer. As long as they're actively at work, they can have guaranteed issue coverage. And the brokers that do this well, the individual life brokers that do this well, as an example, will sit down and do, your typical $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 face guaranteed issue life policies. But out of every 20 employees, 2 or 3 of those 20 will sit down and say, hey, I really need to get something more like $250,000 or $500,000, and I want to, do something that will be interest sensitive to the market, something I can overfund, a lot of bells and whistles, and then that is where you go to the core sales, individual, bank draft, traditional life insurance. And so the Worksite really is a way to provide the blue-collar, gray-collar employees with guaranteed issue life insurance, and then also to wrap that around and cross-sell those. So a good agent, a good individual life agent will go into a 30-life group, sell 20 group life applications, and 5 or 6 individual high net worth life apps as well. This is on the website for you all to see. This is where all our products, I don't know if you can see that real well here, but to give you an idea, we have 4 flavors of life insurance that we can offer, payroll deduct at the group level, UL, interest-sensitive whole life, 3 flavors of term, 5, 10, 20, and then we have an employer-paid basic term life. There's a great strategy behind that employer-paid term life that I will tell you once we get down the road, perhaps on a follow-up call, but we can put in that product and you'll be amazed at how much life insurance that you will sell via that strategy. We also do a lot of market-focused products. So there's a lot of products in this brochure as you're reading through this that will be niche. So good rule of thumb is if it's some kind of employee benefit other than medical, dental, and vision, then contact Transamerica, and we most likely have a solution for it. Let's do the next page, Joe. Our supplemental health, in addition to life is what we sell the most of. We do a lot of hospital indemnity, accident, cancer, critical illness. Those benefits are really designed for that high deductible situation as an employee. Let's say you're an employee of a hospital and you have a $5,000 deductible, and you're a young family, you got a couple kids, you're going to the emergency room at least once every 2 or 3 years. And if you know, for those of you that have ever had kids, go to the emergency room. It's not a it is not a financially well-off experience. You can't get out of there for under $1,000. And actually, I took my daughter to one a couple years back, and the lady behind the desk goes, "Well, you got United Healthcare. What's the big deal?" I go, "Yeah, I got a $5,000 deductible." So it doesn't matter if I've got insurance, if I got to come out of pocket that $2,000 for that ER visit. So these products are designed for the blue collar and, like I said, the gray collar, the white collar, to be able to insure that risk. So for $3 a week, I can have a plan that would, if my daughter breaks her arm and we go to the emergency room, that reimburses me for that out-of-pocket cost. And that is very popular in the market today. It's extremely popular because people are, you see articles all the time in the newspaper about people don't have $50 for this or $100 for that. Not a lot of people have $2,000 to $3,000 for an out-of-pocket expense, and especially if you're a young, growing family, it can be a devastating experience. So we do a lot of this business in the marketplace. We also do short-term disability. You'll see dental and vision in there. That's really more for mini-med mech plans. So if you run into a company that has a lot of part-time employees, and the part-timers are like, well, we don't really have anything that we can buy. We can custom make a part-time mini-med program for those employees. So we have a lot of scale, a lot of different things that we can do in the marketplace. Best thing to do is if you run across an opportunity, pick up the phone, call Levinson. They'll get a hold of me, and then we will come up with a solution for you. So if you've got a small business, a mid-sized business, and you go in and you just sit down and have a conversation with the owner and find out what it is that owner wants to do for their employees, that's the best way to start.
Okay, that was great. All right, what we're going to do also is send out a thank you email to all of the agents that were on the call, and we'll include brochures, everything that you need to get started. And, you know, I want everyone to understand, even if you have never been involved in this market before, don't worry about that. Don't be intimidated, okay? Because usually what's happening is your clients are being sold these products just by other agents, okay? Which if the other agent is involved also with individual products, you might lose that client for everything ultimately. So the bottom line is just know enough to be dangerous. And once you're contracted on the Worksite side, what we can do, if you have the small business set up, you already have the contact, we can get Brian or Bill involved at Transamerica to help walk you through everything. And it really is simple. Don't be intimidated by this in any way, okay? We're also here to help you. All of our marketers know the basics. And then again, we can get Brian and his team involved if needed. Okay. All right. So now, you know, we have this great concept, and the question is, well, how do we get these small business owners? How do we get in the door? So at Levinson, we put together some great tools, value add, to help our agents start to search through all these lists that we have. You can literally go into our agency automator tool. We have a business prospecting side, and you can enter in as little or as much information into the search engine, and the system will spit out small business owners, names, numbers, emails, addresses, everything that you need. Joe's going to give you a 100-foot overview of what this looks and feels like. Then he's going to show you our business valuation tool. So these are all great things. I hope you're making notes on all of this. And again, we have that little question box on the right side. You can type in questions and we will answer everything. We also want to hear from you. Comments, good, bad, and different. We build these things for you every week. So please, it's up to you, and we'll make these things bigger and better every single week that we host them. Joe, you there?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right into the business prospecting tool and kind of put my agent hat on and pretend, you know, now that I have these great products, learning about some of these things from Transamerica and all the individual products, individually underwritten products you can access through the Levinson marketing team. Like Bill said, now we want to access these people that we can kind of share the story with. and show them the added value by working with you as an agent. So I'm actually going to show you some screenshots of the Agency Automator platform where we can actually access the prospecting tool to find those local customers that are going to want to hear what I have to say. So first, I'm inside of Agency Automator. Of course, we can choose between the consumer or the business database. That business database has about 6.7 million and growing contact records. The best part about when you dive into this platform is you can actually put in a specific location. So for this example, pretending I was an agent out of a local office here, I'd put in the zip code and I would ask it to show me companies within a 25-mile radius. And then it would then add those zip codes to my criteria search. And the next step is to not only look at the revenue from that company, the number of employees. Certainly I don't want a company that has 1 or 2 employees when I can be working with one that might have 15 or 20. So I can say, okay, 25-mile radius, show me companies that have at least 25 plus employees, and I can actually put in the specific industry code. So if I want to target attorneys or a dentist, or in this example, I put in construction companies that are growing and booming in South Florida, so we can enter in that code, and then you basically hit the search bar, and my results from this search gave me 574 companies that are within that search criteria. So I right now have 574 prospects that I can actually go ahead and market to. It not only gives you their name, it gives you their email address, their phone number, their title in the company. You may not necessarily want to go after someone in the company who doesn't make the decision. So you can look and sort by president, CFO, CEO of that specific company. So you can target those specific people. The next step inside of Agency Automator is to use one of about 1,800 different email templates that we've already designed for you to market these different products. And that brings me to my next slide. Once we've gone through and added and built this marketing list inside of Agency Automator, now I need something powerful to actually show to that client. And besides those Transamerica products, which are a great way to get your foot in the door, I wanted to dive into some of the business valuation tools, and specifically a great platform we have, which is a business planning service and complete marketing guide. We'll send this out to everyone on the call, but it basically gives you a 4-step process to get in front of these business owners and to give them a reason to talk to you. So step 1 is kind of understanding the business market. We've got some great materials that walk you through some of the products Bill mentioned earlier, your buy-sell approach, your key man policy, some of the solutions that you're going to be presenting to these different clients after you've had a chance to kind of learn a little bit more about their business. Step 2 of this marketing guide that we have is the pre-approach. So there are scripts, there are pre-approach letters, compliance-approved email templates that all are available to you as an agent to get your name in front of these different business owners. Step 3 of this marketing guide, which is in the bottom left-hand corner here, is your first meeting, your fact-finding session. We give you all the questionnaires, all the material to be able to show to these different prospective business owners who you are and what you do and the value that you can add. And then step 4 is actually requesting a proposal. One of the great things that's part of this business valuation platform, you can actually go to one of these business owners and ask them, hey, how much is your company worth? What kind of exit strategy do you have? Are you going to work forever? Are you going to maybe want to sell part of the company, or maybe hand it off to a business owner, have them buy you out? And so the question inevitably comes up, well, how much is the business worth? And normally to get an answer to that question, you'd have to pay on average a couple $1,000s to a CPA or attorney firm to do a business valuation. And so you can actually offer that completely free of charge to every single one of these clients you're going to be working with. And what we do is we collect some information, and you as the agent would meet with that client, collect that information, and we actually have some great resources of CPAs and attorneys that will put together a complete turnkey informal business analysis and business planning valuation. This is going to kind of highlight the different key features of the different companies, show them any risks that they have, whether they don't have a buy-sell agreement in place or they don't have a disability policy in the event one of the owners becomes disabled. And it actually gives you a really easy to understand complete report that you can share with that client. And so I think what we've seen by agents using this platform is they're able to really deliver a much higher added value than your typical agent that comes in the door and says, well, let me sell you some insurance products. So being able to find the right people and being able to present the right products in the right way, I think is really a big part of going after these small to medium business owners. So we had that platform to prospect for them. We had this turnkey system, including the marketing guide, the valuation, to be able to show, hey, this is what I can do for you as an agent. And it's not just selling you a policy. It's giving you some added value to really identify the shortcomings of their business and what things need to look out for. So we've seen huge success using this platform. It's just a great tool when you combine it with Agency Automator to really drill down on the specific type of client that's going to be more interested in this type of approach. So a lot of great tools. This is normally something that agents look for years, and it costs thousands of dollars to be able to hire the attorneys and CPAs. But as a Levinson agent, you have access to both these platforms just by working with us. So really great system, great tools to be able to use and implement as soon as you're done with this phone call.
Yeah, that was awesome, Joe. Very, very valuable. We all know you can have the best product in the world with a 282% commission grid, but if you have no one to speak to, it's going to do us all no good. So those tools are great. And if you want to learn more, let us know. We also have these live trainings that we're going to show you in a second, where we dive into everything. As an IMO, by the way, we're almost done here. We have probably 4 or 5 minutes left, and then we'll wrap it up early today. But it's important that everyone understands, as an IMO, years ago, and there's still, unfortunately, a lot of IMOs today that, just sit back and they say, we'll just provide a good product and service and a fair commission grid, and that's all we have to do. But the bottom line is that's not all you have to do. It's our job to go out and bring this value add to our agents and help our agents get their message out there and teach you and show you how to market and use a CRM tool and a website and all these great tools. So that's our job. And when you can bring the value, that's when your premium increases, your agent base increases, and it's a win-win across the board, okay? There's no secret recipe to this. The bottom line is, if you can bring tons of value to agents and help them sell more and grow their practice, then you win. Okay, and that's the way we look at our position and our jobs every day. And that's why you're seeing all of this cool stuff that you've probably never seen before. It's also our job to make sure our agents understand where everything is, how the technology works, how to drive traffic to your website, how to keep your name in front of your clients and your prospects. So when the time comes for them to want to pull the trigger and buy a policy, they remember you, Bill Levinson, the guy with the cool haircut that sells insurance in Boca Raton, whatever the case is. But these are things that we all need to think about to grow now and in the future, because it's a different world now, okay? And we all understand that. So we put together these neat things. This is a great annual training, okay? Once a year, we get over 300 agents together to network. We bring in our core carriers. It's a day built around you and new sales strategies to change your year and your practice. Okay, so we tell these carriers, because they all want to come down and present because we have great exposure, and we tell them, look, the only way we will invite you down is you have to come up with some great new sales ideas that can help our agents sell more product. That's it. We don't want to hear that your company is A-rated with $1 billion of surplus, and we don't care. We want to make sure, yes, you have a good carrier and good products, but we need to learn how to get our message out there. Let's be honest. So anyway, that is the prerequisite to make sure that our carriers join and bring value to our expo. Make sure you register now, May 10th, 2019. It's going to be a day you won't forget, I promise you. We have breakfast and snacks and free lunch, and Joe Ross is our keynote speaker this year. This guy brings value. He's the best trainer in the insurance industry today. I don't care if you're talking about small business owners, IUL, return of premium term, living benefits. He is the man. Okay, we're also launching our new senior division. This will be an awesome day. We're so excited. So write down that day. It's free for all Levinson agents. Okay, moving forward here, second to last slide, and then we'll wrap up. Real quick, Joe, can you back up just one slide here? I think it's so important that everybody, okay, everyone on this call jots this down. Write it down now. I'm watching you. Make sure you write this down. These trainings, okay, are held by us. They're live every week, every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern, every single day, every week, okay? We have Kevin, who works on the programming and tech side. He hosts these webinars, and they're live, so you can ask questions, you can jump in, you can email him, call him. And the first one, every Monday, is a webinar that's built around target marketing. Okay, just think of Amazon. If you went on Amazon and you bought a bag of dog food, Nike running shoes, and a tennis hat. Okay, let's say when you checked out, you didn't purchase the tennis hat. Okay, what's going to happen is that same Adidas tennis hat is going to follow you around the internet, probably for a week or 2 weeks, or maybe even a month until you click purchase. That's target marketing at its finest. The same thing goes for insurance. So what will happen if someone goes online and searches long-term care, maybe Index Universal Life for retirement purposes, your name now is going to come up with your business card and picture. That's going to track that person. So it's really, really cool. It's called the SureWorks. Every Monday, 2 p.m. we host that. Tuesday is the free website builder program. This is free for you. If you don't have a website these days, you're going backwards, okay? You're the yellow cab driver instead of the Uber driver in 2019. So just think like that, and you will make it, I promise you, but you have to learn. Every Wednesday, we talk about this CRM program that's available to you at no charge, okay? This is a way to keep your name in front of your clients and prospects. Every Thursday, okay? Remember how Joe just showed you how to look up small business owners? That's the Thursday training. Every Thursday, 2 p.m., prospecting and agent recruiting. So we show you how to search for agents and prospects using our technology. Friday, this is the latest one we just added. Now, you say to yourself, Bill, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to end. I don't know where the middle is. I don't understand this stuff. What is a CRM tool, right? How does it all work together and help me grow my business? That's all I care about. So Friday is the best practices webinar. And what we did is, first of all, we just added this to the mix, and we talk all about how to email market, how to get your name out there, how to build your website so you can make sure that it works and it drives traffic to appointment setting. So we show you everything. It's like the 200-foot overview on all of our marketing platforms together. In green there on the bottom, we have a brand new quoting tool called iSolve. This is a permanent quoting engine, permanent products. Think IUL, UL, whole life, but what's so neat, this is on our website, it's free. Here's what's so cool. So in the past, if you wanted to run an IUL quote or a UL quote to, age 121 or 110, whatever the case is, you just basically saw the premium and death benefit. Now, with the new quoting engine, you see target premium, you can set up a short pay scenario, you can compare carriers and products, and then you click apply, and all of that information gets populated into an e-app or drop ticket. Okay, you talk about game changers, this is a game changer. And what's so neat about this, if we all know how when you write a permanent product application, you have to always have a signed full illustration. So when you run this quote on iSolve, there's another button that says full illustration, and it brings you automatically to the carrier software full illustration, so you don't have to input the information in again a second or third time. This is called iSolve by iPipeline, and we are the first pilot agency to roll this out. It's free for all of our agents. It's up and running today. If you want to go check it out on our website, just click on quoting, and then we're going to have a training webinar on this, I believe, in the next couple weeks. And just remember, it's a pilot phase, so it's not perfect yet, but we're adding companies and products to this as we speak. Go check it out today. On the bottom, top disability sales ideas. This is going to be another big one, and I wanted to point this out. First of all, the first 50 registrants gets a free book. We have a top 50 disability sales ideas Amazon book we're giving out for free. Make sure you register now. We're going to talk all about white collar disability insurance and the best products to package in with this concept. So make sure you mark your calendar. February 19th is that iSolve quoting engine. And then on the bottom, February 21st is the top disability sales ideas training webinar. Jot down those dates. Please don't miss those. I'm going to be hosting it with our carrier VPs. Okay, we're going to end with this. And I know I got a little long-winded at the end. I get very excited here. I know all this stuff works because, you know, you see it in other industries. You see what's going on out there. Things are moving fast. It's my job and our team here with Joe and the rest of our 17 employees to make sure our agents know the basics to go out and be dangerous. And if there's something new, maybe a new lead program, a new piece of technology that's going to help you, at least make sure that you're knowledgeable with a certain part of the market. We're going to bring that to you, and that's what we did today with this small business marketing platform. We're going to end with this. You know, you talk about all this great stuff, but it's so important that all of us as agents, IMOs, that we have the right mindset, right? Because when we speak to these clients, I don't care how much you know or how much education you have, if you're a negative person and you're down in the dumps, nobody wants to be around people like that. So make sure you get in that place day in and day out. We're going to end with this. Success is not related to one action. Success comes from the repeated behavior of constant habits that are formed throughout life. With that said, have a great rest of the day, a good weekend, great selling. Take care. Thanks again.